Mr. President, I come to the floor today to talk about the vital importance of the connection between the arts, education, and progress. I'm from a little town in Delaware named Hockessin. Hockessin was not much when I grew up there. We had about 1,500 people, a whole lot of dairy farms, some mushroom farms, and over the last 40 years, it's gradually developed. And a not much widely noted big day happened back in 1994 in Hockessin, Delaware, when one of America's greatest jazz performers, Cab Calloway, passed away in the little town of Hockessin, Delaware. Cab Calloway gave his name to a remarkable performing arts school. This is a school that 25 years ago was created, dedicated to the idea that if you want to elevate learning, if you want to strengthen education, you should make sure you have a robust range of opportunities to engage with the arts. And I thought I would use that as an example today to just talk for a few minutes about why what we do here can be important across our whole country and why a connection between the arts and education can make a lasting difference for families all across our country. You know, back in 1965, when I was just 2 years old, a group of senators, Republican and Democrat, came together to create two things: the National Endowment for the Humanities and the National Endowment for the Arts. And these two federally funded national programs are absolutely critical educational, economic, and cultural drivers that have impacted thousands of communities across the United States. Why is this a subject of any contention or discussion here? Well, because unfortunately, our president's budget this year proposed to eliminate funding for both of these organizations. Both the National Endowment of the Arts, National Endowment of the Humanities, proposed to be removed, zeroed out, canceled, despite their almost 50-year, more than 50-year record of successful impact and service across the country. In my little state of Delaware, the National Endowment of the Arts, the National Endowment of the Humanities fund all sorts of valuable programs with significant impact. And last year, I invited the head of the National Endowment of the Arts to come and visit us in Delaware and to pull together the whole range of folks who received some grants from them, $680,000 last year. It's about 17% of all the funding for arts in my state. It helps support 100 grants to nonprofits all up and down our state. I'll give you a few examples. The Grand Opera House, which has a Summer in the Park series because of the National Endowment for the Arts. The University of Delaware and its Community Music School, which holds a musical theater camp every summer serving dozens and dozens of kids, about 80 kids. The Christina Cultural Arts Center in downtown Wilmington, which brings vibrant cutting-edge arts programming to a neighborhood that might otherwise not enjoy it. And the Creative Vision Factory, which provides individuals with behavioral health disorders an opportunity for self-expression, empowerment, and recovery through the arts. I could give you many more examples, but these are just 4 of the 100. And the National Endowment for the Humanities gives a comparable number of grants to support programs up and down our state. I'll mention one, Art Conservation at Winterthur. Winterthur, which is a magnificent museum and collection of the American arts, has a partnership with museums in places around the world from Haiti to Iraq to Syria, where because of conflict, critical pieces of cultural history have been at risk of being lost, and because of these NEH grants to Winterthur, those partnerships have been strengthened. We've been blessed to have in my friend Governor Jack Markell and his wife, the First Lady Carla, over the last 8 years, strong, long-standing support for the arts in our state. And we've got lots of leading individuals in our state, Tatiana Copeland, for example, who helped build the Queen Theater and supported the Delaware Symphony Orchestra. And they work in partnership, as does every administration, with the Delaware Division of the Arts. A gentleman named Paul Wiegraff is the executive director now of the Delaware Division of the Arts, and with a new administration under Governor Carney, I am hopeful that we here in the Senate can sustain bipartisan support for arts and humanities funding, and that the young people of Delaware, our communities, and our families will continue to enjoy the blessings that these investments in creativity bring. How much are we talking about? It's about $150 million, 149.8 to be specific, this year, this fiscal year, for each of these two endowments. Now that's a tiny, tiny percentage of the total federal budget. $150 million may sound like a lot. $680,000 in grants to my little state of Delaware may sound like a lot. But across these two endowments for arts and humanities, $300 million in federal money has a dramatic impact. It leverages private funding 9-to-1. In recent studies looking at the impact of the National Endowment of the Arts, they concluded that they were particularly focused and particularly effective, and that where there is a leadership grant given by NEA, it leverages $9 more for every federal dollar. I think federal funding for the arts and humanities has to remain a priority. I think it is important that we embrace the model that the Cab Calloway School has championed in Delaware across the country, where you show educational excellence by working it together with the expressive and creative arts. It was William Butler Yeats, a famous Irish poet, who once said that education is not the mere filling up of a pail. It is the lighting of a fire. And if you want to ignite the aspirations, the hopes, the dreams of young people, don't just engage them in trigonometry and biology and chemistry and physics, although those can be interesting, engaging, or challenging. Light the fire of their spirit with arts. Give their spirit room to soar. Give them the opportunity to paint on the canvas of their lives and give them the gift of artistic training and skills, and there is no limit to where they can go. That's been our experience in Delaware. That's been our experience across the country. And it's my hope, Mr. President, that we will find a way on a bipartisan basis to continue to sustain investment in the humanities and the arts. It was President Kennedy who in 1960 said there is a connection, and I'm quoting. President Kennedy said there's a connection hard to explain logically, but easy to feel, between achievement in public life and progress in the arts. And citing three important periods in history, he said, the age of Pericles was also the age of Phidias. The age of Lorenzo de' Medici was also the age of Leonardo da Vinci. The age of Elizabeth, also the age of Shakespeare. And he concluded, the new frontier for which I campaign in public life can and should also be a new frontier for American art. It's important that we remember here that the modest amounts of federal money we invest in the arts bear enormous positive, multiplied benefits to the people of our country and to our place in the world. I am grateful for all who work in arts education, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to work on a bipartisan basis to sustain our federal investment in the arts and humanities. Mr. President, thank you. With that, I yield the floor and suggest the absence of a quorum.